Cheers, guys! English Rabisco here! And yes, we all know the big tech company names by heart, and we think about them every day, I'm sure. They're a big part of our everyday lives, and, well, they're pretty much necessary in our digital ones. I swear, we just cannot do without them in that regard. That being said, a situation that we have absolutely no control of, like the stupid decisions that are made by the companies, can hurt us. So yeah, I'll go and talk about that right now. First of all, I'd like to give some merits to these companies, in all fairness. I mean, ecosystems can be, and well, are useful. Having everything in one place is just so cool and so useful, like I said. Like iCloud, Google Drive, etc. So many more companies, well, yeah. Like 15 years ago, this technology didn't really exist, and it's really changed our lives, and the tech industry as a whole. So yeah, if you think about it, it's kinda crazy that we can have all our files everywhere on the go, and it's just so convenient, and it's necessary for lots of people, and it's just taken for granted. Like I said, this stuff hasn't always existed, and how it works seamlessly across all devices everywhere is just truly amazing to me. And yeah, technology advances, and who knows if smart homes will become mainstream. Probably not, because so many people can't afford homes in the first place. But they might be wired to a specific ecosystem. And yes, all the smart devices connected to all those companies are everywhere. Our phones, computers, watches, like I said, potentially our homes, digital assistants, cars, heck, even pacemakers or brains in the future. As for me personally, I'm pretty much entirely in the Google ecosystem. All my personal photos are on Google Photos, my YouTube scripts and everything else, they're on Google Drive, my entire channel on YouTube obviously, you get the point. And yeah, there isn't really an alternative to that. Like, realistically, what search engine would you use instead of Google? Bing? Baidu? And for the most part, the products themselves that we use are, well, decent, I'd say. And let me get to the bad parts. First of all, our privacy is compromised. It's always been collected. Like, apparently there's even this lawsuit against Google for collecting data on users even in incognito mode in Google Chrome. Our data can easily be given to a government or for CIA, NSA, whatever. And yes, when I mean they collect everything, they collect everything. They collect specifically, obviously, your search history, but also your location history, the apps you used, when you used them, where you were when you used them. Yeah, if you don't believe me, look up myactivity.google.com and you'll see all your freaking activity. And you'll probably be creeped out, because it's, well, freaking creepy! And yes, if a company decides to make a stupid decision, we'll have to put up with it. And we have absolutely no say in what they do and no power to stop that garbage. One example of this, of course, is Google Photos, what they recently did on June the 1st. They removed unlimited storage for Google Photos. The status quo was really just fine, but Google just wants to ooze in more money and force us to buy Google One. And yeah, we can't do anything but comply with their stupid decisions. And like I said, there's just no alternative to it. Everything's so tightly integrated, and we have little or no choice at all. Our entire digital lives can be at the mercy of whatever price changes or, well, product changes they can decide to make. And yeah, it's not like our incomes are going up. And yeah, it's not really easy to select specific parts of the ecosystem that you want to use and mix them with others. Like for instance, what if you are primarily a Google user, but you want to use, say, iCloud or Dropbox? Try it! And like I said, we rely on technology so much, even more so by the day. This is really a big deal. And yeah, like I said, it can really spiral out of control because it's everything that we use. It's just becoming all more expensive these days. when we can hardly even pay for these things at this point. And yes, I'm sure for all the big tech companies have all the money to pay for the stuff in the servers. Yeah, once you look at the incomes of the CEOs, yeah, why can't they just take a little bit of their money and at least provide a better user experience for the people now? Don't you know how little Amazon employees make for a living? And they work in potentially dangerous environments for long hours. That just sounds freaking terrible, honestly. And yeah, they already use our data for their own algorithms, like AI, see what I mean? Of course, the right to repair is such a big issue these days. I know that Apple and Samsung in particular, and potentially even more companies right now and in the future, have been making their phones impossible to repair. That's obviously a very anti-consumer practice. And yeah, instead of being able to do it ourselves, fix our phones ourselves, we're forced to get them replaced for hundreds of dollars so these companies can squeeze even more money out of us. A lot of the companies also have a lot of economically ethical issues with all the monopolies and trusts in technology. Like Microsoft, Facebook, and Google have all been to the court, and well, the last two might be in the future, but yeah, because of their sketchy, anti-competitive business practices. And yes, a lot of people rely on these products for work. Like with YouTube, a lot of YouTubers who do this for a living, like I said, are subject to unfair terms of services, channel strikes that are completely unwarranted, and so much more of YouTube's garbage. And this doesn't just apply to the United States. It applies internationally to many countries all over the world, because people in those countries use the same products from the countries that I've been talking about. And yes, there are so many more things to talk about, like internet censorship, again, underpaid employees, arbitrary layoffs, fake news, whistleblowers, customer support, and just so much more. But hey, doesn't it look like hope is on its way? It looks like several bills are being pushed in the US House of Representatives to make it harder for these tech companies to merge and hopefully can change their business practices. And this has received support from both parties. So yes, hopefully, just maybe, this changes things in the tech industry. Still though, what these huge tech giga-corporations have been able to get away with these days is simply insane. It's the greatest piece of nonsense that these companies swim in an ever-increasing amount of money, while the people themselves are forced to put up with their stupid decisions. I know, we use these every day. What would we be without them? My point exactly. These companies are going to do dumb things. Yeah, well, our lives can take a hit from that. Well, that's it honestly. I could make hours of videos tearing down these corporations. But that's enough for now. Be safe, take care, and